Pennies and Pens. It's your girl, Lau Pen, designer of Pennies and Pens and CEO of ISLP, the InkSpot LLC. Today's video is called Read More Ink, the Meaning of Mariah Carey. So, first of all, thank you guys so much for watching, checking out and supporting the Penny Black YouTube channel. Make sure you subscribe if you haven't already, like the video. Also, check out our international multicultural lifestyle magazine, De La Pen, All Pen Everything, which will be celebrating 12 years this August. Can't believe it. Also, check out Pennies and Pens. Like I said, I'm designer of Pennies and Pens. Pennies and Pens is a vegan, organic, and sustainable lifestyle brand. Right now, we have a collection of 100% organic cotton t-shirts. I'm actually obviously wearing one right now. This is from the spring-summer 2021 collection. And then I am in the process of developing the fall-winter 2022 collection. So that's my little sidebar on that. You know, you always got to have a little self-promo, a little shameless plugging. But anyways, going into actually talking about this book, The Meaning of Mariah Carey, which is obviously an autobiography memoir that Mariah wrote with Michaela Angela Davis. For those that don't know, she's a very iconic Black female writer, so make sure you check her out and look her up if you did not know who she was already. So I have always been the biggest Mariah Carey fan. Like, ever since she first came out, she has just always been one of my favorite artists. To be honest, I really feel like in a lot of ways, like, Mariah's gotten her due, but like, I'm like, y'all, Mariah is really an icon of the music industry. I mean, 19 #1 songs. Really? And I think, if I'm not mistaken, like, Mariah is also, I mean, I know we all know she's also, as a lamb, she's also a very powerful and talented songwriter and producer. But if I'm not mistaken, Mariah has written majority of all of her songs. So of these 19 #1s, she either totally wrote it herself or co-wrote it with another songwriter. So her name is in them credits. So not only is she talented as a vocalist, but she's also talented when it comes to the creation of a song, writing a song, producing a song. So her just, yes, I mean, Mariah's just, you know what I mean? Like, she's just Mariah. She's just an icon. Like, she's just a phenomenal artist. I mean, you cannot touch her catalog. You can't come for her. She just, I just have so much, I have always had nothing but the utmost love and respect for Mariah. I remember even as a shorty, like in the 90s, like, I had the MTV Unplugged album on cassette tape. I had #1s on CD, Rainbow. I had Daydream. I had all these different Mariah albums, even from back in the day. And now that I'm like collecting physical music again, I'm just rebuilding my Mariah physical collection. So I have 3 of her albums. I have Daydream, Rainbow, and #1s. And then I have #1s on DVD as well. So when it comes to Mariah, I'm like, where's the content? So I've always had nothing but the utmost love and respect for her as an artist. Like, what she has done is just nothing short of amazing. Yeah, and so let's start talking about the book itself. Now, I'm gonna obviously Read More Ink is about me doing book reviews and telling you what I liked and didn't like about whatever book I'm reviewing in that video. But for this particular book, I don't really want to share a lot of the details. I want y'all to actually get a copy of it and read it. Like, whether you get a copy from the library like me, or if you purchase a copy, which, by the way, I don't think that there's anything wrong with getting a copy from the library, because then you show that books like this are in demand at the library. Like, somebody wants to read about Mariah Carey, check that book out from the library. And then people also want to obviously purchase a copy of the book to own. But anyways, the book The beginning of the book made me really, really sad, Pennies and Pens, because Mariah goes into details for the first time about her abuse and neglected childhood. And again, I'm not going to go into the details of like the who, what, when, and where she was subjected to this abuse. Because again, I want you to actually get a copy of the book and read it for yourself. Because especially with an artist of Mariah's caliber, it's so easy for somebody to read the book and then post a review, either a video review or a written review, and somebody reads the 2 sentences from that written review or watches the video, and then they act like they actually read the book. And it's like this weird culture that we're in. And I'm like really trying to encourage you guys to actually read more books, because reading books really, it just expands your mind, your knowledge. It makes you so much sharper and quicker. It just, it's really a good thing to do. So again, that hurt my heart because I've always been a Mariah fan. And, you know, as I spoke about in the very first version of this video, because I had to start reshooting it because my camera roll filled up. You know, back in the 90s, when Mariah first came out, you know, there was no internet and no social media. So there was no need as a fan, as a lamb, to like wonder, or it just wasn't even a part of your thought process. Not because you were trying to be like selfish and not care about Mariah and what she may have gone through in her personal life, but because there was no internet and no social media, you didn't need to Instagram and Facebook something all day, every day. It's just not something you thought about as a fan. You weren't really, it just didn't cross your mind to be like, dang, I wonder what kind of childhood Mariah had. I wonder what is going on in Mariah's life right now. You know what I'm saying? Like now, obviously in 2022, even though she's a seriously established, iconic artist, people would still want her to like post something on Instagram, you know? Like it's this whole culture we're in now. So when she first came out, none of that was a thing. So it just wasn't something you really thought about. And I guess maybe she may have at some point maybe mentioned it in an interview or two, but it's totally different. We're talking about mentioning it in an interview and really writing in depth your story in a book. So that broke my heart as a lamb, because I would never want her to experience that. And it broke my heart also too from the standpoint of, I can't believe that Mariah has risen to the level of success that she has and never had the support system of a good family. Like that's crazy, because y'all know if you read and watch my content, I talk so much about how my family is my inspiration and is my reasoning to continue going, you know, not just because I have so many entrepreneurs in my family, but my family has just truly always been so supportive of my creative endeavors and of my business. And they've been my strength when I needed that strength. Like last year when I went through a depression because of some things that were happening with the business, it was my mom and dad that called me and gave me that reinsurance and told me, you know, you need to keep going. Look at all of the success and growth that you've had. You're doing really well. So it breaks my heart because I've seen and noticed in my own personal life, like what a support system can do for you as an artist and as an entrepreneur. So to know that Mariah never had that is crazy. Like 19 #1 singles, and you never really had the kind of relationship with your own parents, with your own siblings, that you can call them and be like, yo, my song went #1 again. And like, y'all shouting up and down, and you know, it's crazy to me. I mean, the first people to buy my books, buy my t-shirts, support my business were my parents, were my family, you know? So that Mariah never had that with the level of success that she's had, whew, that's crazy to me. That breaks my heart. Because as an artist and as an entrepreneur, you need that. Because you're not always going to be feeling inspired. You're not always going to feel like you want to keep going. It's going to be issues and shit you're going to go through. And at Mariah level, that girl, that woman done been through some shit. Even on a good day, Mariah life is probably crazy. So there's that. Also in the beginnings of the book, her talking about what it was like to grow up as a biracial girl. You know, that was very interesting too, because, you know, Mariah would have been growing up in what, the 70s and the 80s, and it wasn't cool to be biracial then. I mean, it's barely cool to be biracial now, but it definitely wasn't then, because back then it was definitely this very like pick a side kind of thing, and like, you're not white enough for white people, but you're not black enough for black people. So she went through that. And even to this day, I find that a lot of black people in particular can be very judgmental towards Mariah Carey and very like, oh, well, she don't embrace her blackness enough. And I don't agree with that shit at all, because of the iconic collaborations that Mariah has done with Black male and female hip hop and R&B artists. I mean, she's worked with Sean Combs, Jermaine Dupri, ODB, Snoop Dogg, Jay-Z, The Brat, Escape, and did all these collaborations in the 90s and 2000s when hip hop was still very stigmatized and racistly discriminated against. Like, you don't work with rappers and rapper turn producers and producers turn rappers. Like, it just wasn't a thing. It was very looked down upon and very like, you know. And then when Mariah first came out, because of Sony and Tommy Mottola and all whoever was on her team, they were kind of branding her as this white Whitney Houston, as my cousin shared with me. You know, I was like, oh, that's a good point, because she was. You know what I'm saying? Like, she was branded as this artist that was like, you know. And so I'm just glad that she followed her heart and she embraced that side of herself, you know, in spite of all the stuff that people love to say about her. I just have nothing but the utmost. I think Mariah is one of the reasons why hip hop became mainstream, hands down. I really, truly do, because Mariah was considered this mainstream pop artist. And so when she gets on the Fantasy remix with ODB, when she gets on the Heartbreaker song with Jay-Z, Crybaby with Snoop Dogg, it made hip hop seem more accessible and more pop friendly and all of that, you know? And she helped monetize and make hip hop like this pop genre, more pop genre. When I say pop, I mean like popular, you know? Because when hip hop first dropped, what was that, in the late 70s, early 80s, again, it was like this music that was just supposed to be for poor blacks and Latinos. So it wasn't something that you was supposed to be playing on the pop radio stations and all of that. You're supposed to be playing, I don't know, some Madonna. You know what I'm saying? Wasn't supposed to be playing no, Rakim wasn't making it on the pop stations, okay? Even though he one of the greatest to ever tap the mic, he wasn't on the pop station. They was playing Madonna, okay? That's what they was doing. So Mariah helped really bring forth hip hop. So, okay, so after we go through the childhood years, then we get to the early 20s when she married Tommy Mottola. Honey, that broke my heart, because even, okay, so obviously, like I said, I've been a lamb all my life. Like, I've always been a Mariah Carey fan. So, but when she was obviously married and with Tommy, that was in the 90s, I was still a little shorty. But even back then, I recognized, like, I remember when, like, the wedding photos came out, or whatever magazine they came out. I remember even as a shorty, like a person, because obviously I was a kid, I didn't know anything about adult relationships and stuff like that. But, like, even as a shorty, I remember looking at all of that being like, Mariah, this is fake. This relationship you in, sis, this ain't it. Like, yeah, I knew something was wrong with their relationship. And not even just because of the age difference, because Mariah just seems like this creative, free spirit. So for her to just be with this executive type of dude, it just never made sense to me. So in reading the book and getting the details of the fact that their relationship was abusive, Tommy abusing her, it was another heartbreaking thing. And then this is again, because obviously she's going in chronological order, telling her life story. So she's starting from her childhood years and then going up into them early 20s, which is when she was married to and with Tommy Mottola. So it just, until about the middle of the book, when Mariah basically divorces him and then really just starts to go and take control of her life and do her own thing, that's when the book is like, okay, yeah. But you know, in life, pennies and pens, you got to go through the bullshit, you know what I'm saying, to get to the rainbow, right? I think that's like a Mariah quote, basically. So then once we get to the middle of the book and Mariah taking control of her life, you know what I'm saying? She doing the Rainbow album. She doing Emancipation of Me. She just said, because, you know, Mariah had gone through some things and people were talking shit. Oh, Mariah ain't shit. Oh, she ain't shit. So then Mariah dropped Rainbow and collaborated with Jay-Z, 98 Degrees, Joe, Snoop Dogg, Jimmy Jam, Terry Lewis. Then after that, did the Emancipation of Me. And just kept on going. Why? Because she's Mariah and she's an icon. Okay? Like, seriously, put some respect on her name. Put some respect on her name. Okay, so then we go through that, and so those parts are beautiful. I actually also really love in the book where she talked about her relationship with Nick Cannon, you know, who's now her ex-husband, and the father of her children, Moroccan and Monroe. But it was beautiful the way she described their relationship, because I did always believe that Mariah and Nick had a great relationship. When they were together, I really do feel like, I mean, obviously I'm just a lamb. I'm just a fan of Mariah, so I don't know her personally. But from the outside looking in, she did look happy during those years. I think it was just one of those things, too, where, I don't know, in relationships, sometimes shit just don't work out. Even when you are in love and things are good, I don't know. Sometimes shit just don't work out. But I respected the way she spoke about him in the book. The way she spoke about her children was beautiful, because I think, again, when you're a celebrity and an icon like a Mariah, a lot of people want to talk shit and act like you're not a good parent. You don't really love your children. You just kind of push your kids off on nannies. Because I hear that a lot, too, about Black celebrities. I don't know. There's a lot of all of this, oh, they just get a nanny and they don't even take care of their kids. And it's like, and I think that's why Mariah made it such a point to talk about like who she is as a mother. Because I think she wanted to dispel all those bullshit myths and say, no, I'm seeking to be the best mother that I can be to my children. No, me and their father are not together anymore, but we have a great co-parenting relationship, and we both love our children, and we both always seek to do what is best for our children. Because again, then people want to judge the fact that her and Nick are divorced and not together anymore, blah, blah, blah. But it's like, whatever, if it didn't work out between them and they decided to end their marriage, then that is in fact what's best for the children. Because if they would have tried to force that marriage to continue and it really wasn't going well, it would have just created tension, and then raising the children in that tension and that dysfunction is not healthy for them either. So if it's best for them to be separate and co-parent, then by all means, you know, it's just crazy how judgmental a lot of y'all are on the internet. Like, you have your shit together, and a lot of y'all on the internet, quiet as it's kept, got baby mama, baby daddy, and co-parent and whatever, I don't know. You know, at least somebody like Mariah and Nick have established themselves enough where they can genuinely afford to do some co-parenting and living in multiple houses and all of that. Some of y'all out here on the internet just judging Mariah and Nick. Y'all can't do all of that. Just saying. Okay, so I thought that was really beautiful. I love that she also explained the meaning behind Moroccan and Monroe's names, because I personally did not understand and get that. But that was one of those things where I was just like, when I say I don't understand and get it, I mean, I was just like, I don't know why that's their names, but because I'm not their mother or their auntie or their grandma or their cousin, or have no actual familial relation to these children, and I'm not friends with Mariah Carey, it ain't really none of my business why she named her children what she named her children, and it's really not my place to offer no opinion on that. But I do think it was great for her to explain the meaning behind their names, because again, I think that is something that she's probably people been talking shit and judging in the past. Why Mariah named her kids that? Because she did, because they are kids. Gosh. Some of y'all y'all, the way y'all talk about these celebrities and stuff on the internet, you act like you are Nick Cannon, like you are the father. No, the only people that need to be that involved in Moroccan and Monroe lives is Mariah Carey and Nick Cannon, okay? And whatever aunts and uncles and grandparents and family members they choose to bring their children around. That's the only people that need to be that involved in the lives of these children. Y'all on the internet don't need to be that involved, okay? Yes, lambs, us too. Yes, exactly. I understand we love Mariah. We love her music. We love what her music does for us and how it makes us feel. But that doesn't mean we need to be offering opinions on her children and how she raising her children. They her kids, and they are just children. We need to be sensitive to the fact that we're talking about people who are under the age of 18 who, you know, calm down. Some of y'all on the internet say stuff. It's crazy. So anyways, like I said, I love this book. It was truly amazing. As a lamb, I feel like that I'm like upset I have to take it back to the library, but that just means I need to buy my own personal copy. And I don't know if I said this in this video. The reason why I did get it from the library is because as much as I love Mariah, you just never know sometimes when it comes to celebrity autobiographies and memoirs. You just don't know if it's always going to be that great or that well written. But I think with Mariah being the true artist that she is, she understood that she's not a writer. That's why I made sure to give the shout out to Michaela Angela Davis as the co-author, because that was an important and a great step for Mariah to take. Because it's like, yes, I'm a songwriter. I can write you a song. Got you. But writing a book is a different thing. So I think it was important for her to sit down with a writer and tell her story. And they work so well together. They work so well together. It's a beautiful book. So I absolutely 110% beyond a shadow of a doubt recommend this book to all lambs, Mariah Carey fans, or to just anybody who loves music, loves to read, loves just reading interesting, cool stories, you know, because even if you're not a big Mariah Carey fan, I really feel like this is the kind of book where, like, if you read it, you'd be like, well, shoot, let me try to, like, listen to some songs and, like, see what's up. Because you just would gain, again, this respect for her because, again, she has such an interesting life story and she went through so much to get and be where she is and stay where she is. And so it's just a beautiful book to read. So that's Read More Ink, The Meaning of Mariah Carey. Thanks for watching. Have a great day. Peace.